Good morning everyone. Today we're going to be looking at rounding decimals. So last week you looked at decimals and fractions to thousandths. Today we're going to look at rounding some decimals. So first of all, we're going to recap what we learned last week. So I want you to pause the video and I want you to change this fraction into a decimal, this decimal into a fraction, and this fraction into a decimal. And then you can play the video for the answers. Okay, so if I were to convert this into a decimal, I can see that my denominator has thousands, so it's 123 over 1,000. So my decimal would be 0.123. Okay, so it's showing me that I've got 1/10, 200ths, and 3,000ths. Okay, and then this time it says 0.305. So I would have 305 over 1,000 because it's showing me that I have thousandths. If I didn't have those thousandths there, it would be over 10 or 100. Let's make that into a fraction. And then I have 11 thousandths. So this time I don't have a 3-digit number on top, so that means that I don't have any tenths. So I would have 0.011. So I'd have 0.011. So I've got 11 thousandths. Okay, super. So let's move on to our rounding for today. So we want to round 24.3 to the nearest whole number. And today you're going to be using number lines to help you to start with, okay? So that's what we're going to have a look at now. So when I round to the nearest whole number, I need a whole number at this end of my number line and a whole number at this end of my number line. So the first thing we need to work out is what number would come before, what whole number would come before 24.3 and what whole number would come after 24.3. So my first number would be 24 and my second number would be 25. Okay, so like a normal number line, we'd now have 24, 24.1, 24.2, 24.3, 24.4, 24.5, 24.6, 24.7, 24.8, 24.9, 25. Okay, so now I need to plot my 24.3 on my number line. So I've got 24.3 and I'm going to find where it would be. So we've got 24, 24.1, 24.2, 24.3. So it would be here. Okay, and now we're going to look at the distance between the two. Okay, so the distance between 24.3 and 24 and the distance between 24.3 and 25. So I'm going to get my arrows out. So I've got from here to here, and I've got from here to here. And now I'm going to work out the distance, the difference between the two. So from here to here I've got 0.3 and from here to here I've got 0.7. So now we need to look at which has got the smallest difference. Okay, so the smallest distance is 0.3 because 0.3 is smaller than 0.7. Okay, so the number that 24.3 is nearest, the whole number that 24.3 is nearest to is, so the answer is 24. So it is closer to 24. So remember when we round, we're looking for the number it's closest to. So it's closest to 24. Okay, this time we are going to be looking at rounding 11.7 to the nearest whole number. So I'm going to do what I did before. So I started with finding my whole numbers. So my whole number would be 11 at this end. And the whole number after this number would be 12. Okay, in your books can you have a go at completing this one, and then we will go through it again together. Okay, so I've got 11.7 and I want to put it on my number line. So 11, 11.1, 11.2, 11.3, 11.4, 11.5, 11.6, 11.7. Okay, then again I'm going to use my arrows to help me. So I've got this distance here and I've got this distance here. So let's see, from 11 to 11.7 I've got a difference of 1, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, and from here to here I've got 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. Okay, so we can see that the difference between 11 and 11.7 is 0.7 and the difference between 11.7 and 12 is 0.3, so that we can round 11.7 to the nearest whole number and the answer would equal 12. Okay, so it is closer to 12, so it would round up to 12. Okay, next one. So we're going to round to the nearest tenth this time. So rather than trying to find a whole number, we are trying to find it to one decimal place, so to point something. Okay, so this time, instead of finding a whole number at the end of each number line, we're going to have a number with a tenth. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. So we've got 2.25 to the nearest tenth. So I know that that number lies between 2.2, so I've got my tenth, and 2.3. Okay, 2.2 and 2.3. So 2.2 and 2.3, we need to round 2.25 to the nearest tenth, so we need to plot that on our number line. So we've got 2.21, 2.22, 2.23, 2.24 and 2.25. Okay, then same again, I'm going to use my arrows to find the difference. So I've got this distance here and I've got this distance here. So I've got 0.21, 0.22, 0.23, 0.24, 0.25. So I've got a difference of 0.05. And here I've got a distance of 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, 0.04, 0.05. So you can see the distance between the two is equal. So this is where we need to use our rounding knowledge. We know that if we've got a number that is 5, that it rounds up. So 5 or more, and we have to round up. Okay, so we can see that the answer would be 0.3. Okay, so 2.25 rounded to the nearest tenth equals 2.3. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Round 34.22 to the nearest tenth. So again, I need a number that has a tenth here and a number that has a tenth here. So I'm looking for the tenth that comes before this number and the one that comes after. So before would be 34.2, and the one after would be 34.3. Okay, so now we need to place 34.22 on our number line. So let's see. So I've got 34.2, 34.21, 34.22. So it's going to sit just there. So okay, so I'm going to use my arrows again. So I've got this distance here and I've got this distance here. So we can see that the distance between here and here is 0.01, 0.02. So I've got 0.02. And then from here to here, I've got 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, 0.04, 0.05, 0.06, 0.07, 0.08. Okay, so like that. So I can see that the distance between this one and this one is 0.02. The distance between this one and this one is 0.08. Remember, I'm looking for the smallest distance. So 0.02 is smaller than 0.08. So the answer would equal the tenth that it's nearest to is 34.2. Okay? So the answer is either going to be this one or this one. So the two numbers you put on your number line first. That is going to be one of the answers. Okay, and then quickly let's just look at rounding to one decimal place. So this is basically what we just did here, but without the number line. So what you can do is, if you are asked to round to one decimal place, it's asking you to find it to the nearest tenth. So it's asking you to find this number here. Okay, it's asking you to round to this number here. So we are going to look at the number next to it. So we're going to look at the hundredths column to help us do this. Okay, so we can see that 6 is greater than 5. So we are going to round up. So this equals 3.6. Okay. And then again, we've got this one here, so it's asking us to round to one decimal place, so we're finding the nearest tenth. So I'm going to help myself by underlining the tenth, and then I'm going to use the hundredth to help me. So I have got the hundredth is less than 4, so we're going to keep our tenths the same. So we've got 8.2. Okay, so this you should be able to remember from when we've done rounding, because it's basically the same, just with a decimal place. Okay, so if you want to have a go at these two by yourselves, you can, and then we will go through the answers. So with this one, I've got 6 as my tenth, and I'm going to use my hundredths to help me. So my hundredth is larger than 5. So I'm going to round up to 32.7. So on my number line, this number would have been closer to 32.7 than 32.6. Okay, and then this one is a little bit more tricky because it almost has a knock-on effect. So let's see. So if I've got my tenths as 9 and my hundredths as 9, that means that this is going to round up. But I can't go any higher with my tenths, so the nearest number to one decimal place wouldn't actually have a one decimal place. It would simply just be 39 or 39.0, if that helps you to understand. So I can't round any higher than 9, so it's got to move to the next whole number. Okay, and that's the same. So rounding to the nearest tenth is the same as rounding to one decimal place. Okay, so your question today, so if you are doing silver, you're doing question 1 to 5. If you're doing gold, you're doing questions 6 to 9. And platinum, your questions are here on the next page. So if you're in the PDF, you need to go past the page with linear by questions on. Your questions are here, or you can pause this video also. And then you've all got a linear by questions today. If you need any help, please contact Mrs. Willis and I, and we will get back to you and help you as best we can. And I hope you all have a nice day.